Welcome to this episode of Wiki Walks, a short podcast devoted to some of the more intriguing and, who knew, articles that you can run across in the weird world of Wikipedia. I'm your host, Chris Grismer. Baseball. As American as apple pie, bald eagles, and arguing about whether a hot dog is a sandwich or not. But what if I told you that the father of baseball, the guy often credited with shaping this most American of games, wasn't, well, American? Plot twist, like finding out your Atari is actually an American-made machine and not Japanese. It's true, it's not Japanese. I had no idea. Today, folks, we're stepping up to the plate to learn about Henry Chadwick. Born in Exeter, England in 1824, yes, you heard that right, the father of baseball hailed from the land of cricket, tea, and politely queuing, possibly in the vicinity of a lift or a lorry. Remember when you first learned that the guy who played Dr. House was actually deeply British? Same thing. Chadwick moved to Brooklyn, New York around the age of 12. Now, this was a time when baseball, and yes, they often spelled it as two words back then, like cell phone, before we all just smushed things together, was a bit of a chaotic free-for-all. Think less Field of Dreams and more Lord of the Flies with a bat and a ball. Rules varied, scores were kept haphazardly, if at all, and I imagine the seventh inning stretch probably involved fisticuffs or two. But yes, young Henry, having grown up with the more structured game of cricket, saw this burgeoning American sport and thought, "Hold my Earl Grey, chaps, we can do better." He was a journalist by trade, initially covering cricket for the New York Times. But in 1856, he witnessed a particularly spirited baseball game and had an epiphany. As he later wrote, "Americans do not care to dawdle over a sleep-inspiring game all through the heat of a June or July day. What they do want to do is do something in a hurry. In baseball, all is lightning. Every action is as swift as a seabird's flight." He saw the potential, the raw energy of a seabird, but also the need for a bit of refinement, a spit and polish, if you will. So what did our intrepid Englishman do? Well, he became the game's first dedicated sports writer, and, more importantly, its chief organizer and statistician. Imagine trying to follow your favorite team today without a box score. No batting averages, no ERAs, no idea if your star slugger is hitting 300 or 030. Chaos! Well, thank Henry for that. He developed the first modern box score, meticulously documenting hits, runs, errors, and those all-important strikeouts. He even coined the abbreviation K for strikeout. Have you ever noticed that and wondered, why K? Well, it's because S was already used for sacrifice, and K is the last letter in struck. Clever chap, old Henry. Beyond that, a backwards letter K has taken on other connotations in the world of baseball today. Fans recognize it as a way of indicating that a batter struck out without taking a swing with the third strike. Oh, brother, going down looking, there is no graver sin in sport. But he didn't just write about the game, he shaped it. As chairman of the First Rules Committee, he pushed for changes. He argued against the bound rule, where a fielder could catch a ball on one bounce for an out. Chadwick thought that was a bit too, shall we say, unmanly. He wanted catches on the fly, more skill, more drama. He also helped eliminate the practice of soaking, literally throwing the ball at runners to get them out. Although the practice continues amongst a select group of BYU students flouting society's conventions today. Now, not everyone was thrilled with an Englishman telling Americans how their game should be played. There was even a bit of a kerfuffle with Albert Spalding, yes, that Spalding of sporting goods fame, who tried to push the narrative that baseball was a purely American invention, dreamt up by Abner Doubleday in a field in Cooperstown, New York. Chadwick, bless his cotton socks, wasn't having any of it. He maintained that baseball evolved from older games like rounders. Of Doubleday, Chadwick apparently said, "He means well, but he don't know." A polite yet firm 19th century burn. Also a reference to a quip in Gilbert and Sullivan's HMS Pinafore, for those very modern major generals in the audience today. Chadwick edited baseball's guides, wrote books on the art of baseball batting, and tirelessly promoted the game as a moral and healthy pastime. He was so influential that when he died in 1908, after catching a cold at an opening day game, essentially pulling a William Henry Harrison, the game had been transformed. It had statistics, it had standardized rules, it had a growing legion of fans who could follow their heroes through detailed accounts in the newspapers, all thanks in large part to this transplanted Englishman. Such was Chadwick's standing in American society. Recognition for his work stretched as far as the White House, with President Roosevelt, who formerly referred to him as the father of baseball, sending birthday wishes in 1904. "My dear Chadwick," he wrote, "I congratulate you on your 80th year and your 50th year in journalism. You are entitled to the good wishes of all for that part you have taken in behalf of decent sport." He was posthumously inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1938, a testament to his monumental impact. So, the next time you're enjoying a hot dog at the ballpark or agonizing over your fantasy baseball stats, or even just idly wondering why a strikeout is a K, spare a thought for Henry Chadwick. It's a curveball of history and a reminder that sometimes the most iconic things come from the most unexpected places, even if its founding father initially thought stealing a base was just appallingly bad manners.